Anyway, if you look at Trap Lord Ross channel, he just dropped a new video, and his new video is about Jay-Z. By the way, right now, Jay-Z, everybody knows to leave him out of conversations. Don't say nothing about nothing. And Trap Lord Ross, who's just not in the industry and just an independent creator who has a mind of his own, says, hey, fuck it, I'll put out a video on Jay-Z. Let's watch.
Disclaimer, the purpose of this video is an educational documentary providing authoritative news reporting on historic events in a journalistic context. All of the opinions in this video are mine alone. Everything in this video has been taken from publicly available sources, and any footage used is covered under the doctrine of fair use. We've made every effort to ensure the accuracy of our sources, but I am not responsible for content that third parties publish. Content warning, this video contains themes of violence, death, and gang activity.
Damn, my nigga had a disclaimer. He know Rock Nation would go get at his ass.
Every effort has been made to censor this video in accordance with YouTube's advertiser and community guidelines. This video features no violence on screen, no explicit language, and no hateful language. If you want to see extended versions of my videos with much more detail, please visit patreon.com/traplordross, where you can watch the director's cut for just $2. But if you're not interested in that, hit the subscribe button and get ready to hear one of the craziest stories ever told. In recent months, there's been one story in rap culture that has caused shockwaves throughout the industry. That is, of course, the disturbing tale of the diddler. But memes aside, the claims of rap mogul P. Diddy's alleged abusive encounters with both men and women have led to numerous lawsuits and a federal investigation. The alleged events in these lawsuits span decades, from his early career to the rap stardom and even his recent years as a billion-dollar businessman. The allegations paint a picture of a truly sickening pattern of behavior taking place behind the scenes throughout the years. However, this video isn't about Diddy. That investigation's ongoing by both the feds and, of course, me. More updates on that video coming soon. But interestingly, my research into Diddy has led me to uncover some surprising and shocking allegations about another hip-hop mogul. Because according to some rumors, there are even darker secrets hiding amongst America's rap royalty. One of the first to bring these rumors to the surface in recent times would be the singer-songwriter Jaguar Wright. She used to be around many of the most famous rappers during the 2000s when her music career was popping off. But in recent years, she would end up dropping back-to-back bombshell quotables during a series of podcast appearances that took place only a few weeks after Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, had filed the initial criminal complaint against Diddy in November 2023, beginning the domino effect of a number of other lawsuits. With Jag's interview landing at the perfect time to capture the internet's interest and rack up millions of views with her explosive quotables. But while everyone was focused on her airing out Diddy's dirty laundry, many people missed the fact that towards the end of her blockbuster podcast expose, she turned her aim towards another one of hip-hop's most famous icons, revealing that there's only one person who is worse than Diddy.
You want to know what makes Diddy being publicly shamed like this so left?
What's that?
Sean Carter is worse.
Indeed, according to some rumors, the next rap superstar to fall from grace would be none other than the one who many consider to be the best rapper dead or alive, Sean Corey Carter, better known as Jay-Z. According to these rumors, all the way back in 2011, right when Jay's longtime partner
Elliot Wilson, post this up, gang. Elliot, I know you in here. Don't only post when I'm talking a little smack about Drake. You gotta post this too. Let's keep it fair.
Beyonce revealed that she was pregnant with her first child, Blue Ivy. A woman named Kathy White, who had been reported to have been having an affair with the rapper mogul about a year earlier, would suddenly pass away after reportedly suffering a sudden brain aneurysm under what some claim to be very suspicious circumstances. But what's even more shocking is the claim that the resurgence of this story in the aftermath of the Diddy saga is allegedly no coincidence, as Diddy's ex-wife Kim Porter would also die suddenly after a bout of pneumonia, which has also been the subject of suspicion and theories that perhaps there was more to the sudden illness. But even more shocking, Jaguar Wright claims that Diddy himself may have actual proof that Kathy White's death had foul play involved, suggesting that Diddy may well be ready to expose that information to take Jay-Z down with him. To get to the bottom of these wild claims, in this video, we'll be breaking down the entire story between Jay and his alleged mistress, the strange connection between Jay-Z and Diddy, the woman's tragic and untimely death at the prime of her life in the early 2010s, and the shocking rumors that perhaps Jay-Z or even Beyonce might have had something to do.
Yo, the jiggler would be definitely crazy. Do we go with jiggler or the jugular? The jiggler? Oh, that's crazy. That would be that would be crazy. The jiggler. The jiggles? Nah, that ain't hitting. The jiggler. That's crazy.
With this tragic end.
Like a movie right here, nigga. I'm about to go get some food. The jiggler and the diddler? What?
When it comes to the debate about the best rapper dead or alive, everyone has their favorites, but Jay-Z is regularly named as the top contender. But when it comes to the
it's Drake.
richest rapper in the world, there can only be one winner, with Forbes estimating that Jay-Z indeed leads the pack with a staggering $2.5 billion fortune. In fact, Jay-Z actually took that top spot from Diddy himself in 2018. But besides his spot as the richest rapper in the world, and one of the leading contenders when it comes to the greatest MC to ever grace the mic, along with his impeccable catalog, Jay-Z has become known for another prestigious achievement, his long-lasting relationship with arguably one of the greatest female musicians of our time, Beyonce. Beyonce Giselle Knowles, or Knowles Carter as they're both officially known after their 2008 marriage, is undoubtedly one of the most successful and beloved singers ever, holding titles like the most awarded artist in Grammy history, as well as reportedly being well on her way to becoming a billionaire in her own right. Jay-Z and Beyonce have been together for literally decades, with their relationship reportedly starting in the early 2000s, when Beyonce was apparently 19 and Jay about 32. Now, there's nothing wrong with a consensual age gap relationship, however, the beginnings of this relationship have been suspect to salacious speculation, with numerous articles considering whether Jay-Z actually groomed Beyonce, with these rumors fueled further by a clip that circulated with Beyonce claiming that Jay taught her how to be a woman.
Taught me so many things. I was 20 years old when you first started dating. You taught me how to be a woman.
Now, that's certainly not proof of anything untoward, but the origins of the relationship have indeed led many to give a side-eye to Jay in kind of the same way as Diddy. But clearly the relationship between Jay and Bey is genuine, and it's continued to flourish for over a decade as Beyonce got older. And eventually their power couple status would be truly solidified in the aftermath of their first musical collaboration, the track '03 Bonnie and Clyde, a catchy love song featuring both artists, with the power couple referring to each other as boyfriend and girlfriend on the hook. Although at the time, the couple would still not publicly admit the relationship to the tabloids, as this couple would ultimately become known for keeping their private lives largely to themselves. But ever since the couple went public, they've actually gone from strength to strength, truly proving to the world the true definition of a power couple, succeeding in all areas of life beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Not only have they been unbelievably successful in their careers, both artistically and financially, both independently and together, but as a unit, they've also been blessed with 3 healthy children. And their relationship has survived the test of time better than almost any other couple in the cutthroat world of entertainment, where relationships and even marriages are commonly over in a matter of weeks, months, or in some cases, even just days. However, it's not all been rainbows and butterflies, as their relationship has also been embroiled in many controversies throughout the years, mainly revolving around rumors of infidelity. From the rumors of Jay-Z cheating on Beyonce with none other than Rihanna in the mid-2000s, a rumor which would actually later turn out to be completely fabricated by Rihanna's then manager, Jonathan Hay, in an apparent attempt to boost her media coverage. But then you've got the mysterious, violent outburst that Beyonce's sister Solange had towards Jay in an elevator during the 2014 Met Gala after party, which many have thought to have been the result of Solange actually finding out about Jay's infidelity. Now, by the way, if you want to know more about that particular situation, you can check out my 2019 deep dive where I break down the entire thing. But also, in 2014, female rapper named Liv would also come out with an entire diss track dedicated to Beyonce and Jay-Z, where she would essentially claim that Jay had tried to get it on with her, but she wasn't going for it. In fact, throughout their relationship, Jay-Z has been accused of having numerous mistresses, some of these even being other artists. Rumors have even circulated claiming that Jay-Z is actually pulling...
Now, I do want to stop it here and say there is nothing... Hey, listen, I'm not saying ethically cheating is good, but we're not going to start demonizing men for sticking their penis in another woman consensually. You get what I'm saying? Listen, everybody know the best pussy's new pussy, and I don't give a fuck if it's Beyonce. Shit. Sometimes Becky with the good hair probably got that good box too. I'm going to keep it a bang, all right? So let's not demonize Jay-Z for that, but let's keep hearing.
A Drake and hiding a child or two. Now, all of these rumors would culminate in Beyonce dropping her highly acclaimed 2016 album Lemonade, which many argue was actually worthy of the 2017 Album of the Year Grammy, pretty much the only Grammy that Beyonce still does not have, with even the winner that year, Adele, seemingly agreeing. But anyway, the album Lemonade and the associated music videos included numerous lyrics and skits that seemed to reference her man being unfaithful, with this theme largely carrying over the entire album. But one line in particular would rise above them all, where Bey appeared to refer to Jay's side piece by the infamous nickname Becky with the good hair. And while it's never been confirmed who exactly was the woman or women that Jay had allegedly been intimate with, many would point their fingers towards one person in particular, the fashion designer Rachel Roy, who is also the ex-wife of Jay's former longtime business partner, Dame Dash. Reportedly,
why would you fuck the ex-wife of your business partner? That's like some Drake shit. That's like some, yo, what's up with these famous niggas, man? Bruh, there's too many girls, bruh. Stop fucking like y'all homies ex. It's corny. It's weird.
only hours after Beyonce's release, Roy would post a cryptic message to her Instagram about truths coming to light, whilst also stating what appears to be a clear nod to the song, writing, "Good hair, don't care." Now, this theory would be further bolstered by the fact that the gossip media had already in 2014 spread the rumor that Solange's infamous elevator flip-out was in fact preceded by an argument with Rachel Roy. However, Roy would later make a statement denying these allegations. But another rumored candidate for Jay-Z's possible mistress would be the singer Rita Ora, who was first discovered and signed by Jay to his Roc Nation management in 2009, with the rumors of the Rita affair being seemingly started by the simple fact that she posted a picture of herself wearing a bikini with lemon patches, along with a necklace that had the letter J, not long before the release of Beyonce's Lemonade album, with this seemingly being proof enough to send Beyonce's crazed fanbase, or the Beehive, after her. Now, the drama around Jay and Beyonce's relationship would eventually lead to Jay dropping his own album 444 in 2017, where he would respond to the rumors of infidelity, seemingly admitting and taking responsibility for his cheating, and actually apologizing to the Queen Bee. Jay would also give a few carefully selected and phrased interviews opening up about their relationship problems, generally keeping things equally as vague as the lyrics on their songs.
The other freedom I see in the album is just a freedom for couples who have gone through something. You know, it's amazing. You know, it's almost a cliche, you know, the celebrity couple, you know, they get together, they break up, you know, I'm like, well, who else are they gonna go out with? But for some reason, you took an unprecedented stand to fight for this marriage. I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. What is it about this marriage that's so special that you would fight this hard to save it?
Well, it's my soulmate, it's the person I love, you know, and you can be in love with someone, you can love someone and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're gonna have complications. Period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome, you know, to break that cycle.
Don't call Van Jones no bati boy. He fucked Kim K. Kanye told us that. How the hell he gay, but he fucking Kanye wife? Come on, stop playing.
Black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
Since then, Jay and Beyonce's relationship has seemingly survived these tough times, and the couple appears to be doing perhaps better than ever.
My husband, my rock, my best friend, I love you. My 3 beautiful children who continue to be my inspiration and my biggest blessing.
However, if the wildest internet rumors are to be believed, things could soon be getting very rocky for Jay, or even both of them, because as the lawsuits and the rumor mill around Diddy keep intensifying, shockwave is also starting to spread to the people close to him, with one of those people being Jay-Z, who's actually been a close friend of Diddy for a very long time, their friendship going back decades to when they were both just starting their careers in the 90s. At the heart of these new accusations is a woman named Kathy White, who some claim to have been Jay's first mistress during his long relationship with Beyonce, and a woman whose untimely death in 2011 is claimed by some to be just the tip of the iceberg of the dark exploits of rap's ultimate power couple. Known by many names, Kathy White, Kathy Michelle White, Kathy Coriana White, or Lil Kathy, Corrina Hun, or Corey to friends and family, according to her obituary, she was born in the Fort Polk military base in Louisiana, which has since been renamed Fort Johnson. This military base has its own hospital for the Army personnel called the Bain Jones Army Community Hospital. Kathy's grandfather was a World War II veteran, and perhaps the military gene ran in the family. However, sometime later, her family seemingly moved to Norfolk, Virginia, which is located in the southeasternmost point of Virginia in the so-called Tidewater region. Known for its major bays and rivers that give access to and harbor from the Atlantic Ocean, this is why the area is also home to numerous US Army bases, which may have something to do with the fact that her family moved there in the first place. Norfolk is also part of the so-called Southampton Roads region, which consists of several mid-sized cities that border each other, including Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, and Suffolk, as well as having direct bridge access to the other side of the James River, where there are more similar-sized cities like Newport News and Hampton. This area, creating the Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Newport News metro area, has a combined population of almost 2 million people. But despite the area having a sizable population and being one of the largest metro areas in Virginia, many still describe it as having a small-town feel. There, Kathy would seemingly attend the Indian River High School in the city of Chesapeake, and eventually she would graduate in 2000 from the Maury High School in Norfolk, before going on to study and graduate in 2004 from the esteemed Howard University in Washington, D.C., known for being one of the top historically black universities, also known as HBCUs, in the country. Ranked by the National Science Foundation as the top producer of African-American undergraduates who later earned science and engineering doctoral degrees. And it's from her time in Howard that one of the few videos about her online can still be found, filmed during the university's fashion show in 2001. And this showed that Kathy was seemingly a confident girl, not afraid of the limelight. Needless to say that after graduating from an esteemed school like Howard, Kathy's future was looking very promising, and afterwards she would eventually end up working in the field of publishing. Although at this point in 2024, what that exactly entailed is still not very clear. But according to gossip blogs from the early 2010s, she contributed to various online publications, as well as eventually having her own PR firm, White Label PR, seemingly providing services relating to the fitness and beauty industries on the side. Kathy's career in publishing would eventually take her far away from the small town feel of Norfolk all the way to the other side of the country, where she appeared to settle in the city where every publicist in her field dreams of making it, Los Angeles. Although it's not clear when exactly this move happened, what does seem clear is that eventually Kathy would not only settle in LA, but thrive there, making friends with influential people within the LA celebrity, socialite, and jet set circuits, people such as Nikki Chu, celebrity interior designer, reality TV star and host, actress and photographer Chenoa Maxwell, and most famously, reality TV star host and model Claudia Jordan, who had a long career in entertainment, first participating in numerous beauty pageant competitions in the 90s, and then making her break in the industry by being a model on The Price is Right, as well as Deal or No Deal game shows during the early and mid-2000s, performing in the latter one with none other than the infamous actor Meghan Markle, who would later end up marrying the real Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Prince Harry.
Now, this is a story all about how man's life got flipped, turned upside down.
In the late 2000s, Kathy's close friend Claudia would begin to appear on numerous reality and other TV shows, such as Donald Trump's The Celebrity Apprentice, as well as being a host at Jamie Foxx's popular Sirius XM radio channel, The Foxhole. That name's terrible. We got The Foxhole. In the 2010s, she also appeared on the Real Housewives of Atlanta reality TV show, and most recently, she competed in NBC's Deal or No Deal Island game show in 2024, as well as being a host on the Fox Soul streaming network. However, unlike her friends, who many strive to be in front of the cameras, Kathy White appeared to be mainly focused on working behind the scenes and playing her role as a publicist, and therefore there aren't too many traces of her left online from the more established media sources compared to her friends, with one of those few sources being photos taken during appearances at a few different socialite events. However, this may have eventually changed, because while Kathy was seemingly mostly working behind the scenes in the entertainment industry, it does seem that in the background, she did also have some other ambitions. She was apparently a trained singer going by the artist name Coriana or Coriana Hun, and she would even appear to have registered her own company focused on music called Coriana Hun Music Group while living in LA. There's also an internet movie database entrance made for her under the name Coriana Hun, where her alleged manager describes her as a successful model, screenwriter, and a talented singer-songwriter. And indeed, some of her modeling photos can still be found circulating online. Interestingly, this page also lists her birthplace as New Orleans, Louisiana, not Fort Polk, as well as listing her birth year as 1985 instead of the 1982 found on her obituary. Perhaps she thought saying she was from a more famous city and a younger age might have been assets for her career in entertainment. And there's even some credits that she has on the page from a few movies and TV shows she appeared in. One of these being a 2009 movie called Deep in the Valley, which is undoubtedly one of the most 2000s-style comedy movies ever made, with Kathy playing one of the dozens of scantily clad women making an appearance in the film, along with some good company like Kim Kardashian, who at this point in the late 2000s had only just begun her unbelievable rise to the top of the entertainment world, following her unforgettable performance in the 2007 box office smash Kim Kardashian Superstar, co-starring Ray J. But anyway, for Kathy White, aka Coriana Hun, the last role listed on the site is from a 2010 Hood movie titled Nobody's Smiling, where she had a short one-scene role. But despite these tidbits of information about Kathy's ambitions in front of the camera, there's surprisingly little left online to show that side of her. On social media,
I've never heard about this woman a day in my life. Like, I'm today's years old, find out about this woman.
on the other hand, particularly Twitter, there are still many photos and mentions of Kathy still floating around, despite her eventually deleting all of her socials for a period of time due to the infamous events that would end up transpiring in the lead up to her untimely death. One capture that's left on her old Twitter on the Wayback Machine shows her describing herself as a lifestyle, fitness, beauty, PR pro, self-styled fashionista and beauty expert who loves life, friends, family, and God. With some of her tweets even implying that she might have been personally connected to celebrities like the Kardashians. There are also many mentions of Kathy on Twitter by her friends, these painting a picture of a 20-something Kathy living her best life in the City of Angels. The kind of life that she had likely dreamt of as a kid growing up in Norfolk, like wining and dining at the hippest restaurants, shopping luxury fashion, and building a collection of designer purses, and of course going to the industry events and parties with her popular and influential friendship circle. With two of her friends, Nikki and Claudia, she would seemingly become so close while living it up in LA that they would playfully begin to refer to themselves as the Trilogy. But besides LA, there was seemingly one other place where Kathy and her friends would often frequent, Las Vegas. This appeared to be particularly the case with Claudia, who would often post about her visiting the Sin City either for work or for pleasure, often seemingly for both. And interestingly, it appeared that Jay-Z too was somewhat frequenting Vegas around this same time, and Claudia appeared to be at least to some degree connected with Jay-Z through mutual friends, such as the comedy powerhouse Marlon Wayans, and she would sometimes mention on Twitter about her plans of going to Jay-Z's concerts or parties while she was in Vegas. And it would be in May 2009 when she would allegedly attend one such party, together with Kathy White, sparking rumors about her, Jay, and even Diddy that still raise eyebrows on the internet to this very day.
Oh, nah.
On May 2nd, 2009, Filipino boxing legend Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao was set to face the British boxing legend Ricky Hatton. Now, my dad and older brothers were boxing obsessives, and I remember staying up late to watch this fight as a teenager, but little did I know the madness that was going on behind the scenes. Now, this fight would take place in the famous MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas.
Chat, I sped it up that we could get through it faster, okay?
Many A-list celebrities had gathered in the city for this fight, including Jay-Z and his good friend P. Diddy, as well as the singer Cassie Ventura. Now at this time, Kathy White hadn't yet joined Twitter, but based on the tweets of her good friend Claudia Jordan, it appeared that they had also arrived to Las Vegas to join in on the action. Around noon on the day of the fight, Claudia would tweet how she had been jogging and was about to hit the pool, spending a chill day in the lead up to the big party night. The fight between Pacquiao and Hatton would end up being one for the ages, with Pac-Man winning the match and knocking out Ricky Hatton in the second round, much to mine and my dad's disappointment, with what would later be awarded as the best knockout of the year by the Ring magazine. Now that hurt me deep, to be honest with you. But anyway, after that fight, the celebrity crowd would gather at numerous after parties that were likely taking place all over Las Vegas. One of these parties being at the popular Town nightclub in the heart of the Las Vegas Strip, with this party being attended by none other than Jay-Z and P. Diddy, with both stars attending the party in full-blown A-list celebrity mode with sunglasses inside as if they weren't two of the most famous people on the planet. Also in attendance was Claudia Jordan and her crew, which included Kathy White, who was wearing an easily identifiable pinkish, purplish, magenta-colored dress, and a professional photographer named Denise Trusello was also present, seemingly there as official press, capturing pictures of the event, with her photos showing that the event had celebrities from all walks of entertainment, including people like the actor David Arquette, most famously known for the Scream movie series, as well as the singer Mel B from the Britpop icons, the Spice Girls. And surprisingly, also in attendance was even the former hip-hop mogul of Death Row fame, Blood Gang member, and the rap game's top bully from Bompton, Suge Knight. Now, Suge Knight being in the same club as Jay-Z and P. Diddy is just insane by itself when you consider the long-standing rumors that Suge may well have been involved in the murder of Jay and Diddy's good friend, the notorious B.I.G., aka Biggie Smalls. But then again, the story of Diddy and Suge goes much deeper than you could possibly imagine, and all that's for another video. But anyway, it would turn out that the photos of the party taken by Trusello would eventually begin to play a part in sparking rumors about an affair between Jay-Z and Kathy White, with these photos showing Kathy and Claudia dancing together near P. Diddy and Jay-Z, with Kathy clearly having the time of her life. She can be seen holding an entire champagne bottle in one hand whilst her friends are toasting with glasses. In one of these pictures, Kathy can even be seen talking, or more likely hollering, at either another woman next to Jay, or Jay himself, who is also turned towards her direction. In other pictures, Kathy's friend Nikki Chu can also be seen very close to Jay-Z having a direct conversation, which likely means that group of women had at least some kind of relationship with him, which is probably why they were allowed to stay so close to Jay-Z and P. Diddy in the first place. There were also videos shot by fans during the night that were then posted to YouTube, where Nikki also appears to be very close to Jay-Z and Diddy. Yet another picture, this time seemingly taken by simply another partygoer, Kathy can this time be seen much closer to Jay, still with other people between them, with Kathy and her friend's eyes aiming straight towards the camera. Now, these pictures alone didn't prove anything untoward had happened between Kathy and Jay. However, the connection had now been made. They'd been seen drunkenly partying together, and the photos had been snapped for the whole world to see. But initially, nobody had any idea about what might have been going on behind the scenes. In fact, it was over a year later that these pictures would suddenly get some attention after claims about Kathy and Jay-Z's affair would hit the internet, with these rumors, unfortunately, changing Kathy White's life forever.
Yo, Trap Lord Ross, I gotta bring you the Netflix gang. Cause This shit's so good. I don't even think I should be getting it for free. Yo, Trap, you my boy. I gotta bring you to Netflix, gang. This shit don't feel like I should be like. You got the sound effects and everything, my nigga. We shouldn't be getting this shit for free. This should be on Hulu. You know what I'm saying? You're not even making some Tubi shit, nigga. You should be on Hulu at least.
After being snapped at a Las Vegas nightclub with Jay-Z and P. Diddy, Kathy White went back to her LA lifestyle and for a time moved on with life as normal. The rest of 2009, Kathy White would likely stay living the good life in Los Angeles, and at the end of the year, she would actually join Twitter, helping us get a better understanding of her life going into 2010. It seems that she was mostly staying in Los Angeles and doing the usual things like working, going out partying with her friends in mansions and at pool parties, attending events like basketball games and concerts, with at least one of these perhaps even being a Jay-Z concert. She would also travel with her friends, seemingly going to places like Paris, France. But there were also changes happening in Kathy's life, as in the summer of 2010, posts would surface on social media indicating that Kathy was actually moving away from LA and back to the East Coast. But Kathy certainly wasn't heading back to Norfolk, but instead to the biggest metropolis in America and Jay-Z's home city, New York. And it also seemed that she had received some big deal work-related offer, with tweets discussing some kind of celebratory dinner and how she was about to blow up, with one post saying that she was just about to sign some kind of big deal. But unfortunately, the good news wouldn't last for long, because by the end of August, the rumor about Kathy and Jay-Z's affair would finally hit the internet. It was first posted by an LA gossip blog, Diary of a Hollywood Street King, a blog ran by a man called Jackie Jasper, real name Sean Merrick, who was a Canadian-American former rapper whose career in music began in the early 90s, when he would make some impact nationally in Canada with his single Pimp of the Microphone, rapping under the name HDV. And it seems that Merrick was actually pimping much more than just microphones, because he would allegedly also do a stint in a Toronto jail for the real deal. He would also be part of a Toronto-based dance music group called Dance Appeal, who would go on to win the iHeartRadio Much Music Video Award for Best Dance Music Video of the Year in 1991, with their music video for the song Can't Repress the Chords. Merrick would then later move to America, where he would change his rap name to H-Bomb and also get into producing, collaborating with many notable artists like Ice-T and Coolio, as well as with Kool Keith, who he would create a rap group with called Seventh Veil, with their last project in 2008 including such legends as Rick James, Corrupt, Ike Turner, and Snoop Dogg. Now it's safe to say that Merrick had some real connections in the world of entertainment, but since his career in music wasn't seemingly moving much anymore, he would likely decide to capitalize on his contacts in another way, co-starting the Diary of a Hollywood Street King blog, often shortened to just HSK, writing for the blog under the pseudonym Jackie Jasper from 2009. With all this happening only months before that night in Vegas, when Kathy and her friends had been captured on camera at Jay-Z and P. Diddy's party. The blog would focus heavily on sensationalism, painting a highly scandalous image of the things going on behind the scenes in Hollywood. And interestingly, it seems that one of the first articles on the blog was an expose on a publicist in Hollywood just like Kathy, titled Gossip on a Gossip Girl. Now the blog had even gone after Kathy's friend Claudia several times before the story on Kathy and Jay-Z went public. HSK would call out Claudia Jordan as a gold digger, an opportunist, and a home wrecker for allegedly pursuing men that were already in relationships. The HSK blog was particularly venomous and seemed to indicate some sort of bitterness towards Hollywood socialites, or arguably just women in general. Headlines calling Claudia Jordan washed up and wanted by no man definitely gave off some slight incel vibes, but anyway. Whilst extremely sensational, it must also be noted that the blog has at least once been at the very forefront of breaking a huge celebrity story. For example, in 2014, it reportedly became the first source to publicize Charlie Sheen's HIV diagnosis well over a year before the actor would finally come out and admit it himself. Also in Kathy's case, HSK would claim that their story was an exclusive that they had received from a source directly close to Kathy, claiming that Kathy's relationship with Jay-Z went back all the way to before him and Beyonce were even married, and the source would also claim that they had first learned about the affair between Kathy and Jay from her friend Jason Lee, who went on to end up being perhaps best known for being the founder of Hollywood Unlocked, another celebrity gossip site essentially doing the same thing as HSK but in the modern era, as well as appearing on the TV show Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. And Jason Lee's exemplary contributions to gossip journalism include getting the first-hand scoop on Queen Elizabeth's death an impressive 7 months before it actually happened. There's being first, and then there's that. Anyway, back to Kathy White, Jasper's Hollywood Street King blog would also claim that he got the rumor from Corey's friend Jason Lee, and that several close associates of Jay-Z had confirmed the story was true. But the muckraking wouldn't end there, as the blog would also claim that Claudia Jordan was often bitching about her friend Kathy White behind her back, even claiming that Claudia was jealous of Kathy for getting into a relationship with Jay-Z, reprinting apparent swipes from Claudia where she claimed that Kathy has $100,000 in bags, $200,000 in shoes, but lives in a messy one-bed apartment, as well as claiming she can't believe Claudia is getting richer men than her, and even suggesting that her cat smells bad. Anyway, while the online celebrity gossip culture in 2010 was nothing like it is now with modern social media, even back then in the blog era, that story would make a huge impact, with sites like the popular gossip discussion forum Lipstick Alley soon starting a thread on the rumor which would quickly gain dozens of replies, which based on these replies was clearly exceptional at the time, with posts claiming that the forum hadn't been this active since Obama won the election. Kathy would seemingly find out about the blog post rather quickly, would allegedly go on to message Jasper personally, which he would gleefully post on his blog as an update, sharing the message that demanded he take down the post and claiming she plans to sue him for copyright infringement. Kathy would also immediately go on to delete her Twitter and Facebook accounts, but in the eyes of many, this would only make her look more guilty, with forum posters claiming that it must be true if the mistress deleted her Twitter. It would also do
LSA. Hey, I know y'all little LSA little harlots be mad at me on there. I'll be on y'all site. That's the only site I'll definitely say I'm on, okay? Let me see what else I go on. I'll be on Boxton from time to time. Boxton, y'all be having it completely wrong. I've never had an account on y'all shit. I was always on the IC, which is I'm an IC original, one of the OGs. So SOHH. And the last forum I ever had an account on was the Coliseum. So Boxton, you still dope though.
little to stop the online sleuths from doing their own investigations, and soon
Lipstick Alley knows to go.
they would find the pictures of Kathy and Claudia at Jay-Z and Diddy's party, adding even more fuel to the fire, with Jackie Jasper of Hollywood Street King himself even commenting on the thread, responding to criticism by the online sleuths, who clowned him, saying that they found more evidence than he had, despite his claims of being an industry insider. And soon Jasper would post the pictures from the forum on his own blog, as well as repeating the question of why would Kathy delete her socials if she was innocent. However, there was one glaring hole in Jasper's story that seemingly even online sleuths on Lipstick Alley would fail to realize. Because in the original blog post, Jasper would claim that according to his source, the meeting of Jay and Kathy happened in September 2009, during a night of a boxing match between Floyd Mayweather and Juana Marquez. This fight took place on September the 19th at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas, that very same arena where Manny Pacquiao and Ricky Hatton had fought some months earlier on May the 2nd. Kathy's friend Claudia would indeed be in Vegas that night, as she would be set to host a fight night after party at a freshly opened nightclub near the Las Vegas Strip. The next day, Claudia would even post a picture of herself and her friends in Vegas, but Kathy would be nowhere to be seen. But what makes Jasper's version of the events truly impossible is the fact that Jay-Z himself was nowhere near Las Vegas at this time, as he would be doing 2 consecutive shows at the Wembley Stadium in London, in England, on both the 18th and 19th of September, together with Coldplay.
Trap Lord Ross, a true detective, man. Man out who I respect. This is the type of detective work I like.
And other artists. Additionally, on Sunday, September the 20th, he would do an interview with a UK radio station showing that the entire weekend he would in fact stay firmly on the ground in the United Kingdom. And if that's not enough proof, Jay-Z had in fact likely stayed in the UK for the entire month of September, as he would tour all over the country with Coldplay. At the very least, this mistake in Jasper's reporting appears to show that his sources may not have been as reliable as he was making them seem, and confusing which boxing fight they met at, as well as getting the timeline wrong, arguably destroys his credibility and means that we can't really trust any of his outrageous claims. But nevertheless, Jasper would continue on reporting about Kathy and Jay's alleged affair, doubling down on his factually incorrect information, incorrectly maintaining that their meeting had indeed happened around the September 19th boxing match between Mayweather and Marquez, with his source now doubling down on the lies, claiming that Jay-Z had been buying expensive designer items for Kathy to wear during that night, when Jay-Z was in fact in the United Kingdom the entire month. He would also claim that Jay-Z had taken Claudia out gambling at the famous Bellagio casino, and seemingly fabricating a story about Claudia's friends circling them to make sure nobody saw. A great way to cover the fact that no pictures exist of this meeting, because it never actually happened, because Jay-Z was in England. However, besides Jasper's Hollywood Street King and a few other gossip blogs, none of the more reputable tabloid media outlets like TMZ would seemingly bite when it came to posting this rumor. And so, life would seemingly, eventually, go back to normal for Kathy White, who would then, in the beginning of 2011, return to Twitter under a new username, I Am White Label PR, with this move possibly reflecting the fact that she had now started her own PR firm. However, this time she would keep her account private, likely only accepting her closest friend circle to see her posts. But what we do know is that she was now living in New York, having completed the relocation she had planned months ago, with one of the people tweeting at her about New York being the comedian DeRay Davis from the Barbershop movies, who would interestingly call her his ex. It seemed that Kathy was enjoying her new life in the Big Apple, and her life was on the right path. However, Jackie Jasper at Hollywood Street King was not planning on leaving her alone, and he would make yet another blog post about her, this time based on his alleged source in New York, who would claim that Kathy had gotten involved with some shady people and businesses. Now, this salty post had a real tinge of woman hatred to it, as he branded her Jay-Z's mistress, lamenting her rebranding to a fitness expert, and claiming her only skill is shaking her butt, and claiming she's using health products linked to a former mobster and adult entertainment mogul. Jasper would also claim that Kathy's move to NYC was due to her affair with Jay-Z getting outed, which would once again appear to be simply factually incorrect, as Kathy had clearly planned her move to New York City months before the alleged affair with Jay-Z had been publicized by Jasper at the end of August 2010. But strangely, while the timeline was certainly a mess, and Hollywood Street King was twisting facts and falsehoods to paint the desired narrative, clearly there had been a connection between Jay-Z and Kathy, and they had indeed partied together alongside P. Diddy and Claudia Jordan in Las Vegas. Now that was out there.
Hey, by the way, amazing work by Trap Lord Ross. But let's get to Jay-Z killing this bitch. I mean, killing this. I'm sorry. I'm tweaking. I mean, let's get to the facts. Let's get to the story. Let's get to the jiggler. Like, yo, bruv. Like, yo, I don't care where she moved to. Let's get straight to where it's at. Like, no disrespect. No, you know what I mean? My bad, you know, I got a little Tourette sometimes. You feel me?
There for the whole world to see. But combining that with the false narratives being painted by these blogs, Kathy White's reputation was seemingly in tatters. She'd been labelled as Jay-Z's mistress, and the only evidence were paparazzi photos from one party and a bunch of anonymous sources that were demonstrably lying. Unfortunately,
yo, chat, I was playing like, yo, what's up with y'all? Like, yo, that was a slip of the tongue. That was a Freudian slip. Chill out. Like, what's up with y'all niggas, man? Chill.
The truth would only matter so much, as only about a month after this blog, Kathy would meet her untimely end under incredibly suspicious circumstances. On the 28th of August 2011, the celebrity tabloids were buzzing as Beyoncé would step onto the red carpet during the MTV Music Awards, holding her tummy, something she would later also do at the end of her performance during the award show. This was ultimately the announcement of her pregnancy with her and Jay-Z's first baby, Blue Ivy. The news about Queen Bee's pregnancy would be so popular that it would actually break a record on Twitter, getting the most tweets per second ever at the time. But unfortunately, as Bey and Jay celebrated the news of bringing a new life into the world, another life was about to be lost. A few days after the MTV Awards, on the early morning hours of September the 1st, at around 3 a.m. New York time, or about 12 a.m. Los Angeles time, Kathy White's good friend Shanoa Maxwell would tweet to her her other good friend Nikki Chu, telling her to call her as soon as possible as there was an emergency concerning one of their friends. Then, later that morning, her friends would confirm the sad news that Kathy White had died almost exactly 1 year after the rumor about her and Jay-Z's relationship had started. The next day, the blogs and forums would begin to post the story, reporting the cause of her death to be an aneurysm at the young age of 28, with these articles also recapping the rumors about Jay and Kathy's relationship, as well as predicting Illuminati conspiracy theories that naturally would follow. This angle was also immediately predicted by the first commenters on
chat, stop trolling me, man. We watching this serious thing, man. Stop trolling me. I see y'all comments. Stop fucking trolling me. This is no laughing fucking matter. Oh yeah, I thought I was pregnant? I ain't gonna lie. Yo, these days, I swear, the only way not to be in the uncancelable club, you gotta be trans or cut your dick off. If you're a woman, you cut your dick off, or you trans, you good. If you a man, you guilty of anything they said. Anything. Yeah, we called him jacking off on the George Washington Bridge. Guilty. We caught guilty. Facts.
Lipstick Alley, who had started their own threads reacting to the news, commenting that YouTube conspiracy videos must already be in the works. But other commenters were also quick to point out that Kathy's death so soon after Beyonce's pregnancy announcement did appear to be rather suspect. This would be followed by one user jokingly suggesting that Jay-Z had gotten Kathy murdered as part of some sort of dark Illuminati ritual. And sure enough, the Illuminati and other conspiracy-minded people would soon enter the chat, slowly beginning to build a theory that Jay-Z had in fact gotten Kathy out of the way, perhaps to stop her from exposing something major. One even more wild theory has circulated online that it was in fact Beyonce who arranged the murder of Jay-Z's mistress, with this theory being mainly based on lyrics to Beyonce's song Daughter, where she sings about her violent thoughts in the face of infidelity.
Yo, with all due respect, and I ain't even trying to disrespect, I feel like it's gonna be disrespect. I shouldn't even say. Yeah, I ain't gonna say. I'm nigga. You know the rumors that Beyonce could barely read, right? Like, no disrespect to her. Like, the fuck is Beyonce gonna set up a murder? Nigga, they said Beyonce's kryptonite is a teleprompter in front of her, nigga. They say you want to see Beyonce get confused, nigga, have a migraine, put a teleprompter in front of her, nigga. She like Floyd Mayweather. Listen, Jay-Z, I'm so sorry. Don't do nothing to me. Don't do me like Kathy White, gang. I'm just making jokes here. I'm a failed wannabe comedian. All right? I just happen to land in hip hop. Please leave me alone.
When you look at the lyrics of Daughter, they do paint a disturbing picture. From the first lyric, Beyonce sings about being covered in blood with her body laid out on a filthy floor, a possible reference to Kathy White's apartment being a mess, strewn with clothes, as was claimed in one of the Diary of a Street Kings articles, which cited former friend Claudia. In the song, Beyonce goes on to explain the crime scene, saying that a bathroom attendant let her in because she was a fan. Later on the song, seemingly hinting at her desires to even kill Jay-Z himself.
Yo, chat, y'all know I be joking, right? I'm telling you, I want to do comedy. That's straight jokes. I love Beyonce. I think she's amazing. I try to get tickets to the Renaissance tour. Like, come on now. Like, I'm a beehiver. Whatever that is. I'm in it. Like, stop playing.
After saying she's bottled her feelings up.
Yo, if Diddy's blowing up cars, imagine what Jay would do. Please, chill. Stop.
Like bottle service broads. Another interesting line when you remember the pictures from the party that Jay-Z and Kathy White attended, which depicted Kathy holding a bottle of champagne. Now, more level-headed conspiracy theorists have pointed out the simple fact that a healthy 28-year-old dropping dead from an aneurysm is incredibly unlikely, but not impossible. Others would ponder whether the famously ruthless Jay-Z would really do something this awful to protect his image, while some pointed out that in the midst of the mistress rumors, she had moved cities and begun acting paranoid on Twitter. And of course, some tinfoil hat-wearing commentators went off the deep end, calling this a human sacrifice. Although to be fair, most of the people on the forum in these early days would not find these conspiracies believable at all. But of course, nobody would come out as hard as our boy Jasper from Hollywood Street King, who would soon drop his now deleted blog post titled The True Story Surrounding the Death of Jay-Z's Mistress, Kathy White. In the post, Jasper would claim that his source inside the NYPD this time had told him that Kathy's cause of death was at this point considered unknown and apparently suspicious. However, in Jasper's quote of what exactly the NYPD had told him, suspicious is shockingly nowhere to be found, with the police essentially explaining to him how the cause of death could not yet be confirmed as no autopsy or toxicology report had been conducted. Jasper would also mention that the police had told him that the address where the 911 call about Kathy came from was an apartment at 130 West 19th Street, and she was later taken to the Beth Israel Hospital where she passed away. Jasper would then move on to discussing what he had recently heard from his other sources, with one of these sources alleging that Kathy had recently been contacted by a journalist from a major tabloid newspaper. And although she had apparently been tight-lipped about everything, she had then allegedly contacted Jay-Z to tell him she was planning on going public with their affair. Interestingly, as we'll learn a bit later, this part about Kathy being contacted by a journalist from a major tabloid soon before her death would indeed be seemingly confirmed as true by the journalist herself many years later, with this being yet another example of the ways that actual insider information in Jasper's reporting was seemingly getting randomly mixed in with sensationalist and what often appeared to be purely incorrect information. In a first version of the blog that's only been saved on the Lipstick Alley thread concerning Kathy's death, Jasper would also appear to allege that he'd been told that Kathy was a high-priced call girl, essentially an escort. However, Jasper would seemingly later delete this salacious claim, whilst alleging on Twitter that this information was about to come out through a major tabloid. Meanwhile, Kathy's friends on social media were also increasingly beginning to react to her death, reflecting on how short life can really be, and to the blogs, again labeling her as Jay-Z's alleged mistress, with Claudia in particular, who had seemingly been contacted by some of these blogs and other tabloid media, coming out strongly to deny that Kathy was ever intimately involved with Jay-Z, even going on to say that she was being stalked at the time and complaining that people were really digging into the rumors and she'd spend all day defending her fallen friend. Interestingly, Claudia's tweets would also reveal that her and Kathy had experienced a falling out at some point, as Claudia would explain how they'd had a phone call about a week before Kathy's death and resolved their misunderstanding, with this revelation understandably raising some theories that the falling out might have happened as a result of the rumors beginning to spread about Kathy and Jay, and the allegations that Claudia had actually talked bad about Kathy behind her back, with one forum post suggesting that Claudia had badmouthed Kathy out of jealousy, even going on to suggest that Claudia had been the one who outed Kathy and Jay-Z's relationship, with that being a possible reason for their fallout. Soon there were also other bloggers with some wild theories, with one of these presenting a rumor that Jay-Z's old friend Emery Jones, whom Jay-Z had helped get released from prison by promising to hire him to his clothing brand Rockaware for a steady employment, might have been the person that had something to do with Kathy's death, with one article explaining how Jay-Z had contacted the judge to get Jones out of a 16-year prison sentence 37 months early with a promise of a 50,000-year job at Jay-Z's company. Jasper, on the other hand, was only getting started and would soon come out with yet another post, this time doubling down on the claim that the mainstream media was preparing to take Jay-Z down, as well as discussing another long-held rumor that Jay-Z had already had a child with a woman from the Caribbean who he had paid to stay silent. He would also provide a quote from the tabloid who had contacted him, with the journalist allegedly telling him that all of Kathy's friends, except Claudia, had indeed admitted that she had been in a relationship with Jay-Z, with the quote then ending with a casual question that you wouldn't expect to see in professional journalism: Jackie, do you know if Jay practices Satanism? The foul play angle was also gaining more popularity amongst the users of forums like the Lipstick Alley, with salacious posts suggesting that the aneurysm was used as a cover for the real cause of death, and a wild claim that Kathy had the same ring as Beyonce and that Jay-Z had bought a condo in New York City for a misery woman, while other posters had their cake and ate it too, claiming that aneurysm-induced deaths have been used to cover up murders for years, also saying that Jay-Z is way too soft to be catching bodies. At this point, only days after Kathy's untimely death, the writing was already on the wall, with the internet clearly becoming increasingly convinced there had been foul play and somehow Jay-Z had been involved. But interestingly, if Kathy's old online obituary that's still accessible via the Wayback Machine is to be believed, even an investigative journalist from the New York Post would try to get in contact with her family in the weeks following her death, although this might just as well have been an online sleuth trying to fish.
Dot focus. I'm not upgrading to no high grade billionaire ops. I mean, well, wasn't Diddy kind of like a billionaire too? Hey, me and Jay-Z, listen, yo, I'll promote some Douce or some shit. Actually, he sold that bitch. Whatever his new shit is, man, I'll promote some shit, man. I'm trying to be cool with him.
More information whilst pretending to be an actual journalist. Nevertheless, despite Jasper's claims that a major tabloid was looking into Kathy and Jay's relationship and were about to go public in a major way, with even a possible New York Post journalist attempting to get in contact with Kathy's family to look into the death, in the months and years following her passing, no major articles would ever come out, and the story would only stay alive in the gossip and conspiracy forums in the blogosphere. At times, this story has gained more momentum, like in 2016 when Kanye West would do the infamous speech on stage in Sacramento where he would claim that Jay-Z had killers. The rumors were eventually also dug up by content creators on platforms like YouTube and TikTok coming into the late 2010s and early 2020s. However, in late 2023, the case would suddenly get a huge new boost, as another hip-hop mogul ended up getting in hot water, with the implication being that if he went down, he'd be taking Jay-Z with him. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, as P. Diddy's dark escapades begun truly...
Now, let me also pause and say, with all due respect, I do believe that, all right, if anything ever happens in terms of Jay-Z, actually, the Jiggler, being under the microscope, I don't think it's going to be for shit like this. I think this kind of, it leans on the cynical aspect, kind of just like how the Kim Porter thing leans on the cynical aspect when it comes to Diddy. And I know some of y'all might, after we've seen everything about Diddy, I might be like, how is that cynical? No, it's clear. Diddy killed her. Well, we should kind of have a base understanding of how deaths work. So when someone dies, and especially someone who's dying not of natural causes, they die from any reason. Drowning, they die from pill overdose, they die from a gunshot. What's usually going to happen is that the medical examiner has to determine their cause of death. They have to do an autopsy that is forensic in nature, that's going to look at, okay, why did this person die? Now, like, I forgot the exact cause of death for Kim Porter, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but we also have to realize, I get these guys are billionaires, but they're clearly not, anybody who's doing crime, or just humans in general, they're not planning out the perfect crime. So if you're telling me that these guys could make a death or poisoning or killing someone look like it's no foul play, and the medical examiner would raise if it's foul play. They would raise like this is a homicide. I think they did when it came to what do you call it again? Michael Jackson medical examiner. I think there was a thing if they were going to rule that a homicide, right? And on August 28, 2009, the Los Angeles County, even though, by the way, this is a little bit different because there was so much pressure on the ME, the medical examiner, to really be thorough in if they were going to say that Mike died of maybe an accidental overdose or whatever, or do they feel it was a homicide? And they did conclude it was a homicide. Do you get what I mean? He was administered propofol and anti-anxiety benzodiazepines and lorazepam. Like, God damn it. I'm not even about to say these words. Midazolam, okay, and lorazepam, okay, by a doctor. Now, that doctor actually went to jail for that. So I only say that to say, I get that everybody's not Michael Jackson, but a medical examiner is going to kind of look at someone young dying and kind of look to see, is this natural causes? Now, I'm not saying that, and I don't want to get into the cynical land of maybe Jay-Z or maybe Diddy paid off the ME, and that's why there's no investigation. And some of these things we don't know if there was investigations, right? But, you know, I do kind of, like, we got to also be a little bit level-headed here. If we're thinking that Jay-Z and Diddy are just killing people with an ounce of proof and they just seem to just be dying, well, he has a lot more enemies than possibly his ex-wife or like his baby mama or whatever, at least in Diddy's case, and the mistress in Jay-Z's case. They would poison everybody, or poison, if it's not poison or whatever the way that you would think that they're killing people. They would kill everybody like that. Like, everybody's dead. You know what I mean? So, again, we do have to have a little bit of grounded in reality, you know, when we think about these cases, because there is a medical examiner that's going to look at this.
Hitting the internet with force in late 2023 following the explosive lawsuit by his ex Cassie. These rumors...
Now, by the way, also the thing with, if you ever watched the whole trial for the doctor with Michael Jackson, there was a lot of other factors that went into it. The doctor still went to prison, but supposedly Michael Jackson would almost not only request, but demand the certain drugs and in certain amounts, which, you know, obviously still they shouldn't have never delivered to him, but clearly the doctor who was being paid some exorbitant amount, that thing was like 300 or 400,000, or it could be like $250,000 or something like that, per year by this person. They felt like, hey, well, whatever they want to make them feel good, I'm gonna prescribe. Obviously, that's unethical, but, you know, at that point, they're thinking about their pockets and whatever else. And that's not necessarily trying to kill the nigga, you know what I mean? Even though it still was ruled a homicide. So I say that as we think about, did, you know, if you're going to watch, or you watch this video with me, like, did Jay-Z kill his mistress? Did he kill Kim Porter? Well, they would have to be really fucking good for an ME to look at it and be like, it don't look like foul play. Or it looks accidental, or it looks like it's some natural other causes, or it looks like a freak accident that is just happening organically or happened because it was triggered by A, B, or C, you know what I mean, as opposed to someone killing them.
And allegations will eventually begin to affect also those people close to him, particularly Jay-Z. One of the people going hardest against Jay-Z was none other than one of his toughest competitors during the 2000s, and one of the hardest trolls to appear from New York's rap scene, 50 Cent, who will begin to post on social media following Diddy's downfall about how Jay-Z was nowhere to be found when his supposed friend needed support, with 50 Cent clowning Jay-Z with a post showing Jay-Z's picture as a missing poster on a milk carton and a caption saying, Diddy says Jay isn't answering his phone. And there's another post showing an unflattering picture of Jay-Z's iconic lips, along with a caption saying Jay is in hibernation. He's not coming out the house until the situation with Diddy blows over, as well as seemingly referencing the cancellation of Jay-Z's infamous Rock Nation brunch, with perhaps the subliminal implication being that Jay-Z was also afraid of his own skeletons coming out next. Meanwhile, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, the singer Jaguar Wright, who used to work with Jay-Z for a moment...
Now, let me add some context, and this is what I truly believe. I believe I believe a lot of what we're hearing about with Diddy, a lot of executives that were reigning at that time, not saying they were doing it exactly, I don't think everybody was having their girl getting fucked, but I think they were probably operating with the same type of, you know, non-caringness. And I think that's why you've seen most of those people just fall back. Because the louder you are now, when they throw your skeletons out there, it's going to be bad. So I think Jay is just like laying back. And I don't necessarily think he thinks he did some crazy shit, but I do think that, you know, and just like how people kind of view even the last Me Too movement in hip hop, they felt it was more of a criminalization of a particular era that people weren't really moving around thinking they were criminals. They thought they were doing what everybody else was doing. You get what I'm saying? It's like, oh, everybody else is doing this. Okay, I'm doing it. I mean, I think even remember Cosby tried to say that, or like certain people that were defending Cosby would say that everybody was taking Quaaludes, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's usually the poster child of no, that shit was wrong. Cosby was that, but there was other Cosbys that probably never went down. They probably fell back and just let me just get up on out of here. Well, they got that nigga in cuffs. And I think that's what's happening with Diddy. Like, oh shit, let me get up on out of here while they got that nigga. And I think that's what Jay-Z's doing, if you ask me, honestly.
As a backup singer in the 2000s, was now all over the internet attacking Jay. With her
I don't say that Jay doesn't know what he's done. What I'm saying is that, like, I know it's easy to think about crime very black and white. To think that everybody who did some bad shit that we're perceiving bad now, they did it knowing they're doing bad shit. I'm saying there was the reality about hip hop culture is that hip hop culture that creates complete and very unequal wealth disparities. It breeds certain type of behavior. And what happens is when you go around the industry, you notice that the behavior is pervasive and a lot of other people are doing it too. Those people don't mean to be criminals. They don't even think what they're doing is criminal. They feel like it's up to par with what others are doing. So they do it too. Okay? Oh, everybody's doing it. Then when years later come and we've been getting more and more progressive as a society, that, you know, that's where the Me Too movement comes in. That's where the woke movement comes in. When these acts of a different age are looked at, they're now looked at in a different light. Here's what happens to people: don't go back and get everybody from that era. They get a select few. So that's why when they grab a Bill Cosby, everybody else chills. They grab, or they're about to grab Diddy, you get the Jays and everybody else. They don't have nothing negative or positive to say. They're just hoping to be left out. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying Jay got amnesia and don't know what he did. I'm trying to explain something very simple. I hope you get what I'm saying. Okay? Like, again, it's easy to, when y'all are thinking about crime, like, it makes you feel better to think these are monsters that know they're doing crime, that are just here saying, I want to violate every girl and blah, blah. No, I don't think that. I think a lot of these guys, drunk off power, extreme wealth disparity, right? They saw other people and also probably thought it was normal and okay. I'm not saying it is normal and okay, but that's what they thought. So that's what happens then, and that's why when you get now where people are looking back 20 years ago, right? Like, for example, look at the Freaknik shit, right? A part of the whole, remember they did a documentary about Freaknik? What it showed a lot of people, like, first of all, there was girls walking down the street, people slapping their ass, like, yo, people pulling down their tops, exposing their titties. That was supposedly a culture that was not seen as sexual assault or harassment. It was seen as we having fun. You at the tip drill video, niggas is sliding credit card through your booty. It's not much about, like, there wasn't that conversation about, hey, are you consenting me for me to do? It was just, that was the culture. Now it's a fucked up culture, now that we are at this point and we're looking back, but that was the culture, okay? That's all I'm saying. So now when we go back, and it always seems that when people are trying to signal to other people that they're better people, it's like soapbox like mentality. They aim to hold someone accountable. Not everybody. They hold one accountable, right? You get Cosby. But do you think they're going to make it seem like to you Cosby was the only one? What happened to all the other people? If we've heard any interview from the people who are round and popping during the Cosby era, they're saying, oh, we all used to do Quaaludes. You hear them mention shit like Spanish Fly. How come Cosby the only nigga arrested? You know why? Because it was a cultural thing. Them niggas ain't think it was wrong. And then when Cosby got caught, they all went into hiding. or they all like found God, change their principle up. They got something else going on. Yes. So that's what's happening with Diddy. Diddy was hanging out with a bunch of other the only executive I've seen speak that it appears with the authority that he's speaking about this. I don't think he has skeletons like this. Got to be Dame Dash. Jay disappeared, my nigga. That nigga is beyond David Blaine. David Blaine ain't never disappeared this quick. You can't find Jay at all, right? There's other, I don't want to get them lauded up to, but they have disappeared too. The whole black executive class that was around in this era have disappeared. Do you think they're looking like, oh my God, Diddy, Diddy the only nigga that was beating his bitch, having these freak offs, treating women like, no, I think all of them were doing it. That's my personal opinion. So, if you're one of those people who are like, man, yo, these bitches coming, again, I'm like parroting what I think maybe they're thinking, not necessarily Jay-Z there. Man, these bitches was with it in the 90s and the early 2000s. Why the hell they coming out now talking about we were doing? Yeah, so now let me just lay low. Yeah, we lay low. All right, Diddy, Diddy, literally take that and take them charges while we lay low. It kind of is like that, you know what I mean? And I believe after Diddy is hung up to the world to say, this is the predator, everybody's gonna lay low for a year to two, and then they're gonna quietly pop their head up, loving women more than they ever loved women in their lives. And they're going to be the poster child of, whoa, yeah, I'm glad y'all cleansed everything that was wrong with the 90s. I'm here and I'm an advocate for the women now. I love women. Women, I love. Yeah, but come on. Everything you hear about Diddy don't really sound like this is just one whacked out, cracked out nigga. It sounds like it was a culture of misogyny, abuse, and I hate to use those words, but it seems like it was a culture of how niggas seen women back then. Were y'all watching BT, nigga? I was a kid, nigga. Like, you know, when you could like your mom, you tell your mom you're going to sleep and then you sneak back down and you turn the TV on and BT Uncut came on. Man, these bitches was doing everything but sucking dick, man. Like, again, whole different era. Whole different era. Video vixens back then, some of them was required to suck some cock before they could get up in a video. These days, it's very different. I could tell you now, like, I ain't gonna lie, and I think, by the way, this scares people. Like, this makes you get on point. A lot of people I know in the industry now, and I agree with this rule. I've actually adopted. Don't pour no drinks for no woman, bro. I don't care if it came out of a sealed bottle at all, nigga. Don't pour a fucking drink for a woman. Let her do what she does, because trust me, in 5 years, she could remember that situation very different. Nah, this nigga laced the shit. Nah, I was never that drunk. Nah, hell nah. How the hell I was sucking his toes? What the fuck? So again, shit, this is I look at all of this and I look at it differently than y'all do. You know what I mean? Like, y'all want to look at it like, yo, these guys are like super predators. Now, keep in mind, and this is not copping no pleas for Diddy. I think Diddy's shit was definitely exorbitant and extreme. But this is why, if you go back to the conversation I had with Hitmaker, it makes a lot of sense. And that's why you also warned Drake. He said, yo, there's something called staying at the party too long. Jay-Z was one of the niggas who was on Big Pimpin', girls, girls, girls. That was his mantra. If y'all heard about some of the stories of how Rockefeller was with women, again, I'm not going to be the person who's fourth party and fifth party telling y'all these stories. There's people to say. But you know what Jay realized? I think I'm going to get married. I'm done with that shit now. You know what Diddy never did? Realize, my nigga, it's musical chairs and you lost your chair a long time ago. Stop the fuckery. Go get married. Go out the way. Let your kids go live their life. Stop competing for bitches with your sons. And stop thinking you could have Young Miami and whoever else be doing your bid. Like, you did that already, bro. Like, how many years of this shit you want? And a lot of people feel like the reason why Diddy's getting it is because he stayed at the party too long. He's staying at the party too long. That's it. So that's why he's the one caught up. The reason why there's not a bunch of people that is fucking saying, yo, Jay-Z, Jay-Z. Well, a lot of them are older in another part of their life. Some of them are dead, as kind of documented by this video. And some of them, like, the thing with the thing with Diddy's still fucking with, like, 20-something-year-olds, allegedly. So, again, he stayed at the party too long. And I think that's one of the things that we're warning Drake about. Like, yo, Drake, all right, enough, nigga. Like, you done fucked every bitch possibly. Fucked everybody's bitch. You done did a lot of fucking. It's at the point where the Playboy lifestyle becomes detrimental to you. And again, I'm not the one, you know me, I never push marriage and nothing like that. But you got to realize when you need to stop doing the wild shit that it was only meant for you to do when you were just freshly rich, freshly successful, and you're supposed to grow past that, because after a while, you're just creating more and more instances where it could come back to bite you. And clearly with Diddy, he's the one they're holding out there. With Jay, I mean, yeah, maybe he did cheat on Beyonce. Well, not maybe he did. But there's probably not like freak-offs that like, oh yeah, he cheated on Beyonce like last Grammy Awards and he went to the hotel and had a freak-off. You know what I mean? Like, that shit sounds diabolical. That's the reason why I believe Diddy's out there as much, right? Like, again, if Diddy had called it a day, just married some chick, they still doing fireworks? Ain't today the 5th? God damn it. Yeah, had Diddy like kind of got out the way, not saying it wouldn't happen, but maybe he wouldn't be the poster child as a predator. And that's what they're trying to do. They're saying he's a poster child as a predator, and that's the problem. All right. This Jay-Z shit seems like a stretch. We don't have too much information. If Jaguar White is the only, you know, is the only source, we're gonna need a lot more. Also, we're not having people file lawsuits yet on Jay. And maybe, by the way, here's the thing too. Maybe Jay's handling it better than Diddy. Maybe Jay's getting hit with like, yo, listen, you know, we can file on you, and then he's like, you know what, fuck this. I'm up a couple billy. Let me just pay you. Y'all shut the fuck up. Go away. Leave me out of this. I have $1 billion empire. I'm not trying to fumble. And I don't want no rumblings turning into, because a lot of people believe with Diddy, they're believing that the feds only really took that much of care and aim at Diddy because of the civil suits. So Jay might be like, all right, let me just, all right, take that, go over there, leave me the fuck alone, that I could keep doing what I'm doing. I'm in a good place. All of this shit is probably, maybe anything they got with them is at least over 10, 15 years old. The thing with Diddy, they were accusing him of shit like last year and the year before. You know what I mean? Like, they're basically accusing him of shit like, yo, last week that nigga had a freak off. He had 59 prostitutes. And yeah, they were accusing him of like mad recent shit. Like some of this shit with Jay-Z, you can't even find, it's Twitter in 2009. You know what I mean? It's Twitter in 2009. It's like, at least there's some distance between some of this shit, right? Anyway. Chat. Listen, I'm going to call it a night. What we are going to do is tomorrow, we're going to be analyzing Stephen A. Smith's new deal. I might have we're going to talk about this prison guard who had sex with the prisoner. Talk about Angela Simmons a little bit. And, you know, I'm not trying to, you see, I'm not the person, I don't want to keep digging into this Jay-Z shit without some like actual, because, yo, it got to feel shitty when the media or anybody else just starts drumming up like this fucking thing that now people are incentivized to come at your neck about. So, bro, unless we have some credible shit about Jay, let's let Jay chill. We know why he's chilling. We're not fucking stupid. We know why he's chilling, but it doesn't mean he's fucking guilty. And also it doesn't mean Jay's like no fucking super predator, right? So we gotta like take it down a notch. When we see something, we judge it, but not just assume that, you know what I mean, because somebody's successful, like all they did was traffic women and blah, 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 blah. No, these niggas definitely had hordes of pussy. They probably fucked a lot of chicks. Maybe some of these niggas slapped a chick or two. Not saying none of that's okay. But, we want to call it what it is and not create monsters that's hiding under the bed. All right. Let me read a couple donations real quick. And I do appreciate you guys. Peter Stone said the thirst black people have for wanting Jay to be caught up is really corny and counterproductive. T.O. says R. Kelly, P. Diddy, and Chris Stokes. Parker says, what Kendrick trying to expose? And then Still Hungry Podcast says, they're saying Young and Ace is dead. He is not. King Kong Consciousness says, you still owe an apology to Meg and a donation to FDMG. I don't owe Meg a motherfucking apology. Nicole Harris says, Melnick and Woody are on Kayla Bumpus live. Stream it. I'll bring it up tomorrow. I seen your donation earlier. Kayla Bumpus, Woody. Do you know what they're talking about? I'll probably watch it before I get on stream and I'll kind of parse out the good parts that they're talking about. JTK was saying salute to Ratchet. Someone says interview Pop Smoke's brother Obasi. I'm definitely going to do Mike Dean if he wants to speak. But I also know it's a situation that's not necessarily content. You're losing your brother. That's not about an interview, man. That's a lot of shit, man, right? Spooktown says, now you know the families feel when you interview people like Dirk, YB, Vaughn, who brag about getting a specific person killed. Make your excuses. Spooktown, I wouldn't have a problem with what Adam is doing as long as he interviews. As long as he interviews an artist. Like, me interviewing Dirk, whether or not there was FBG Duck shit, I'm interviewing a musical artist. When you take a guy and you're going to title it, I'm interviewing the killer of this guy, I think that's a little bit different. When you're interviewing people for the prime reason that they're a killer, there's no music associated, there's nothing to do with hip-hop other than they killed a hip-hop musician, I think that's very different, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. Parker says, W for the stands. Rich Guy Rich, he says, Adam 22 just tested New York's gangster. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think New York stick together, and I still think they're going to go to No Jumper to do interviews, right? Real Deal says, man, remember Axe pushing 40. What's this whole I'm pushing 40? I'm not pushing 40. What the fuck? What's pushing 40? Rich Guy Rich, he says, Adam is most likely going to die for interviews. Pop Smoke's killer. Nah. I ain't going to lie. I remember when Pop Smoke died, I thought New York niggas was going to move to LA and fuck shit up, and you realize nothing happened. You know what I mean? Again, New York and LA got completely different politics. If it was somebody on the East Coast, I think something would have happened, but I don't see New York niggas going to LA to regulate, nor do I see LA niggas going to New York to regulate neither. It just is what it is. Someone said Drake gave alcohol to a minors at his parties. He's just saying shit now. Spook says, he mentioned Whitney first. Same mistake. He made his last battle. I do wonder why Drake brought up Whitney if he didn't have like a clever play. Somebody said Ross definitely got punched in the face. Fire Tane, thank you. Stranger says, Q. It says, what? Can you tell us about when you invited? What? Okay, you're tripping.